Our first guest today is a Tony and Golden Globe nominated actor and singer. Lou Diamond Phillips has been a star since the mid-'80s and hasn't slowed down since. Movies, TV, Broadway, he has done it all. Lou Diamond Phillips shot to fame when he played Ritchie Valens in the 1987 drama La Bamba. The movie earned rave reviews and became a massive hit. Just a few years later, he played opposite fellow stars like Emilio Estevez and Kiefer Sutherland in Young Guns and Young Guns 2. In the 90s, Phillips hit it big on Broadway, earning a Tony nomination. That led to television and 6 seasons of the TV series Longmire. Most recently, Lou Diamond Phillips played a police officer in the Fox crime drama Prodigal Son. And he even shared his singing chops as a contestant last year on the hit The Masked Singer. He's one of the stars in the Twin Cities for Twin Cities Con. Audience, give it up for Lou Diamond Phillips.
Let's get a couple of things out of the way. Okay, yeah, because we always do this. All right, everybody, you know, Ritchie on 3. 1, 2, 3. Ritchie! All right, you know, and I was backstage listening. Big shout out. God, I can't believe somebody did this, but it is a beautiful day at the Red Podium Continual Soiree.
Oh,
I see your T-shirt over there. She's like,
what are you talking about? I just put this on this morning.
Right there. Nice.
Look at that!
Right? I caught that backstage. I'm like, she's wearing a Red Pony T-shirt.
Yes!
That third row, man, I'm telling you. Yeah. That's the row that they keep swapping chairs to see better. Yeah, so keep an eye on them. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. Don't I look great?
You look great!
Thank you.
I know.
Over here giving Don Johnson his props. I mean, come on, man. I've been around a minute.
You look fantastic. We have plenty of time. I got to tell you, this is a thrill for me because I had a date with a woman.
This is why he didn't get married until he was 40.
That's right. No, the audience is laughing for obvious reasons, but I had a date at the Dunes Plaza Cinema to La Bamba. So the fact that if you would have told me that 30-some whatever odd years later I'd be sitting next to you, it would have freaked that guy out more than I was freaked out sitting next to a woman. So I mean, you know, when you do you think you would be a great star, a young star nowadays? Because you came out and you were young and. Handling fame then was a very different than handling fame now.
Wow, that's a really deep question for this early in the morning, I gotta say. Yeah, you know, I don't envy today's and I always hate this word, but stars, you know, celebrities as it were. I mean, the amount of scrutiny, the amount of accessibility to them on social media and whatnot, the kind of pressure that's on them. You know, and I also don't see the kind of community that we had back then. I mean, you know, I was Brat Pack adjacent. Yeah. You know, I was the only brown Brat Packer. You know? Yeah, I never got my card. I never got my card.
The audience missed that. He said he was the only brown member of the Brat Pack. Yeah.
You know, so there was a lot of support. You know, I mean, a lot of us actors hung out together and we were friends. And you know, I don't see that community as much, you know, nowadays. Which isn't to say there aren't some wonderful young actors out there. I'd like to think that, you know, my ability would have, you know, helped me rise to the top, even, you know, in today's market. But it was a kinder, gentler time.
Yeah. Was it scary?
Oh, it was massively scary. You know, no, absolutely. I mean, it's so funny. You know, you show La Bamba and people say, "Did you love doing that movie?" And it's like, yeah, I loved doing that movie, but I was scared to death every single day because I was discovered out of Dallas, Texas, and brought out to Hollywood for the film. literally on the third day, Taylor Hackford, the executive producer, I had my first musical performance in the show 3 days in. I don't really play guitar. I didn't really sing so much back then. And he said, if you don't knock this out of the park, kid, we're sending you back to Texas. So, yeah.
Are you serious?
No, I'm very serious. I was scared to death every day. I was, I was waiting for my walking papers. But
so there was a real possibility that you could have been fired at any point.
like that. Yeah, no. So fear is a huge motivator, by the way. Yeah.
Well, when did you start feeling, not so much with Bamba, I mentioned the beginning, the late 80s, early 90s. When did you start feeling comfortable in your celebrity? That you're like, okay, I'm good.
There's two different things, really. The first time I thought, okay, I've arrived. Stand and Deliver also was a tiny little
Oh my
film,
God, yeah.
And we didn't expect that one to become, such a big success. Both La Bamba and Stand and Deliver are in the National Registry of Films now for their contribution to not only art but to American culture. It was the first day on set of Young Guns. When I looked around and went, oh my goodness, there's Emilio, there's Kiefer, there's Charlie Sheen, and I'm one of these guys. Now all of a sudden, I felt like I had arrived in Hollywood. And it was also in Santa Fe, it was the place to be. Cary Elwes came to visit. He was there the first day of shooting. Tom Cruise is actually in the movie. We did him up. He's the first guy that Emilio shoots when he pops out of the trunk at the end. Yeah. Tom was visiting Emilio. He was skiing in New Mexico, and he said, I've never been shot. So we put mutton chops on him and a big floppy hat and a mustache. If you freeze frame your VHS, when the hat goes back, you see that it's Cruise's profile.
I'll freeze my laser disc of it. There we
Oh,
go.
Nice.
I didn't bring my La Bamba laser disc.
I know, I heard you
I didn't
say
want to
it.
nerd out too much.
That's quite all right. Anytime. I'm at the con all weekend long. By
That's
the way.
right. I'll bring it tonight.
Yeah. I'm at the Twin Cities Con, the Minneapolis Convention Center downtown. I'll be there all weekend long. I will sign, and I might regret this, I will sign anything. I know.
Look at row one. Just like more with Lou Diamond Phillips when we come back. Back in a moment. Thank you for doing this, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, we got to talk about this next. Welcome back with Lou Diamond Phillips. We were talking in the break. Again, it's such a cliche, multifaceted. You've done it all. I said it all in the tease. We're talking about the love of the stage.
Yep.
I love your phrase. It keeps you honest.
Yeah.
Why?
It's funny because a lot of people say, well, do you prefer film, TV, directing, writing, all of that? And I've often said my favorite genre is the genre of employment. The thing about getting back on stage, and I went back to Texas last summer to Casa Mignon in Fort Worth, and I did Miss Saigon again.
Oh.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Scared me to death. But when I started in the theater, supporting roles, leading roles, comedy, drama, Shakespeare up to Mamet, and so I love it all. And that taught me in the beginning, how to create a character from the ground up. A lot of people who are not theater trained, they're trained for the close-up. They're trained for film and television acting. And the thing about theater acting is it keeps you honest. And I can say after 40 years in the business, I've not repeated a role. I've brought something hopefully new and fresh to every character I play.
Another love. We were also talking in the break. Writer.
Yes.
Writer.
Yes.
And this is what you really wanted to do when you were a kid.
It's my dad who lives down in Texas and grew up in North Carolina. He talks like this. I got a movie coming out called Get Fast. It's streaming next week, and I talk like this in it because it's my dad. And he said, son, what do you want to do for a living? I said, well, Dad, I want to be a writer. And this is when I was 13. And he said, I was thinking about something where you might make a little more money. And I came back a year later and I said, I want to be an actor. That's not what I had in mind. So I've always written. My wife and I collaborated on this first book, the Tinderbox Soldier of Indira. That's available. It's a sci-fantasy extrapolation of Hans Christian Andersen's The Tinderbox. It did so well reviewed, sold so well that we decided to do a sequel. And that one, this is an advanced copy. It comes out November 19th. So also available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
How long does this take you?
It's so funny because the first book literally took me 10 years. My day job kept getting in the way.
Yeah.
And I have to give a big shout out to Craig Johnson because about a few chapters into the first book, I showed him a few chapters. You know how you always like ask doctor friends and lawyer friends for free advice. And I said, Craig, am I wasting my time? And he said, no, you got to finish this. So between him and Chris Bojalian, who's also another wonderful best-selling author, they helped me get this across the finish line. And so that one took me 10 years off and on. The second one, literally, my wife, she gets the story credit because she came up with the plot. And she does amazing illustrations in both books. That one only took me a year. So
we'll put information on how to get it. Okay, speed round. Some fun questions.
Yeah.
Ready? Will there be a Young Guns 3? Do you ever see that happening?
Yes. Funny you asked that. No, I've spoken to Emilio. There is a script. Emilio is negotiating with a studio. We'll see if it happens. It does not have a green light, but it is in the world. It is in the universe. So cross your fingers.
Okay. How was The Masked Singer?
Crazy! No, man, it's exactly what they say it is. There's no secrets to it. I mean, I am literally
Is that
backstage.
you were a praying mantis?
I was the mantis, dude.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And so the funny thing is, I'm literally backstage in a hoodie that says, "Don't talk to me." You have to wear the mask. The crew doesn't know who you are. My hair was a little longer back then, and I was wearing a balaclava to keep my hair back. In that first performance of Old Time Rock and Roll, I spun around and the balaclava went over my eyes. I couldn't see. And obviously I got a mantis head on me and I can't fix it. So thank God there were lights on the stage which kept me from falling off. And I said, okay, just stick to the choreography. If a dancer runs into you, it's not your fault. You know?
And we gotta wrap, but this one's for me. Do you remember that you were on Dallas?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Oh my God.
Are you kidding me? It was one of my first gigs.
I love Dallas so much, and you tried to harm Sue Ellen. You tried to harm Sue Ellen.
So, quick story about that. First of all, I became good. Sue Ellen, Linda Gray was so kind to me, so nice to me, and at the premiere of La Bamba, she said, "I knew you were going places." You know, no, how sweet was that?
She's a sweet woman.
My second film in Dallas, Texas, was with Morgan Fairchild. Same thing. Those people were so kind. Billy D. Williams was so kind to me. I became good friends with Larry. I directed Patrick in a Hallmark TV movie. So you know, be careful because the people you're working with, you know, as day players today, they're going to come back.
That's right. The great Lou Diamond Phillips, everybody. If you're watching us locally, Lou will be at the Twin Cities Con this weekend. Head to TwinCitiesCon.com for information. If you're watching us from across the country, look for a con near you and watch him no matter where he is and get his book. We'll be right back. Thank you, my friend. What a pleasure, man.
You're wonderful, by the way.
Oh, that means a great deal to me.